Hey guys, welcome to the CO visit. Colin here, and well, today I'm with a trusty smoothie, not coffee. Sorry everyone, but because of recent health conditions, I've had to modify my diet. So less milk, less caffeine, and more natural things. Well, this does have some milk in it, but it's what is it called? Uh, the decreamed, whatever it is. So thank you for clicking on this video. I really do appreciate it. Thank you for being a part of the CO visit. Hopefully by today, I will have some information about the GoFundMe and we'll get that up and then that will be available for everybody. So here to talk about, as you saw in the title, what it is and what it isn't. So what am I talking about? Well, regarding mental health and depression. It's amazing that in 2025, we're still just so far out in the weeds. There's so much ignorance surrounding this topic: depression, anxiety, suicide, all these things, and different types of traumas. And there's so many of them. And I'm not by any means, guys, an expert in the theme, but I am a person that has hereditary genetic depression, and I've lived with it my entire life. So maybe I know a few things, okay? So I'm going to talk about my experiences. Even so, what can I do? I mean, I can describe color to a blind man. That's what I'm trying to do here, because if you've never had this, if you've never had any type of psychological problem or psychiatric problem, depression or anything like that, it's going to be pretty much impossible to understand. Now, we can all go off of a base of something that maybe we should all understand, which is sadness. Okay? So if you felt sadness about something, if you've gone through a grieving process, let's say, okay, that's a starting point. Okay, that's a departing point. So if you know what that is, then you have at least an inkling of what depression is. Now, what is depression not? When we talk about depression, we're not talking about a simple emotional state. Okay, it's not an emotional state of being. It's not one of those "how do you feel today" things. It's not what are you sad about? Okay, it's not just about being upset because you broke up with your girlfriend, or because you lost a job, or because your sports team lost the championship. All those things can cause a gambit of emotions: disappointment, frustration, sadness. But in this case, depression can really stem from two different things. Can it be situational? Yes, absolutely. A situation, an overwhelming situation, a loss, a death, an economic hardship, a divorce, bankruptcy, any of those things can cause a person to go into a depression. Now, the sadness, how do we say depression? How do we really define that? Well, when it's a persistent sadness and a sudden lack of interest in your usual activities, things that you enjoyed doing before, now you just simply don't care about. You lose any interest in really doing any activities, personal hygiene, cleaning your house, And generally, those states are brought on because we're disappointed about something, we're sad about something, and naturally, our body lowers the production of certain chemicals like serotonin, dopamine, and things like that. Now, when a person has, because you'll hear people say that, oh, I got cured of depression. Or you'll hear people say that the Lord took me out of the depression or cured me from depression. Okay? Maybe yes, maybe no. Because remember, I said there's two types. If you're a person that has a situational type depression, well, you weren't depressed before. Okay? Your brain was, your synapses and all those receptors that create those different hormones, like the dopamine and the serotonin that helps you sleep, and dopamine gives you feeling of pleasure and calms you down, all of that. Among other things, thiamina and all these other things. Your brain was working normally. They were firing normally. They started to do less because of this shock to your system, because of whatever situation it was you happened, your spouse died or you lost your house or okay, whatever, any situation like that. So through either therapy and or a combination of therapy and medication, okay, you can snap out of it. You can get out of that depression and then not need it anymore and in effect be cured. Now, some people will attribute that to God. Okay, I would attribute that to the fact that, well, you weren't depressed before. Your brain was functioning normally. It got low on the substances that it needed. You needed to boost them up. And that's your diet, exercise, maybe some meds, going to talk to a therapist, and you get back to where you were before. And then you don't need it anymore. Okay? So God didn't cure you. Okay? Medicine and science and diet got you back to where you were before. Okay? Now, there's another type of depression, such as the type that many people have, like myself, that does not stem from any type of trauma or situation. It's hereditary. Okay? And those of you that have OCD or autism or anything like that, before you ask me, what does that sound? Aluminum zinc roof, hot sun, expansion of metallical molecules makes the crackling sound, okay? When it gets cloudy and it starts to cool down, you'll start to hear the crackling again. Sorry, okay? It happens in the house, happens outside. I don't have a, like false roof yet, a hanging roof yet. So once I do that, that'll help with the acoustics, but it is what it is. So anyway, there is a hereditary depression, genetic depression, that you inherit through family members. And that's the kind that I have. I have that through my mother's side of the family. Okay? Almost everybody on her side of the family, all of her brothers, and I would say probably my mother as well, have depression. And so do I. So what happens in that case? Well, this is something that God is not going to cure you of. It's not going to happen, folks. No amount of praying, no amount of going to church, no amount of going out in service, no amount of anything will cure you except for medicine and therapy. Okay? Because when you have a depression that does not come from a certain situation, it's because genetically, okay, the makeup of your brain is defective. It's defective. In the case of the other person, it's just that their fuel levels got low and they needed to fill them back up. In the case of those of us that have hereditary depression, it's the fuel injectors. We have the fuel, okay, but the fuel injectors themselves are defective and they're not providing enough fuel. The not right amount is coming out. So we lack dopamine, we lack all these other things. And so we need to create it artificially. And that's why we have medicines that are antidepressives. We have medicines that are for anti-anxiety. Some things produce too much, like the anxiety, the general anxiety disorder, which is, where you're producing too much adrenaline and the fear, your flight or fight response, which is exaggerated, okay? And it happens for no reason whatsoever, okay? Also, it's not caused by a particular situation, just happens, i.e. panic attacks. So those things go hand in hand. So in that case, like myself, I've never been treated. This is the first time. That's why the first week, like last week, after my unfortunate suicide attempt, I was pretty rough looking. I was really affected because I was so sedated after all the pills that I took, and then what they gave me to counteract that, and then they had me calm me down. I was just on all kinds of stuff. And I was slurring my speech. It was like I was drunk, basically. And it was really, really hard for me to write messages or write. It was just terrible. It was frustrating, okay? So that kind of a thing, now that I'm coming out of it, okay, and I mean no disrespect to my God, I mean no disrespect to the Lord, but that's not him. Maybe he put the people in place. Maybe he gave me the means and the monetary means to get the help that I needed. But I'm getting regulated now, and I'm getting back to where I need to be because I'm seeing a psychiatrist and I'm regulating now my brain chemistry with medication. And I think all of you can see the difference. If you watch videos from even a few days ago, a week ago to now, you're going to see a big difference. If you watch videos from the past, you're going to see those changes in my state of being as well. A lot of it expressed as anger. Sometimes you could tell when I was like my mood was really low. So what is the feeling that it produces? It's much more than just, oh, I'm feeling sad all the time. No, it's not that. It's feeling this really alienation from the whole human experience, having no purpose, not understanding what anything is even for. What are we here for? Why should I do anything? Why? What does it matter? Yes, I can do things. Yes, I have talents. I can do this. I can, play music. I can design something as an engineer. I can weld. I can drive a car. I can teach a class. But why? In the end, what does it matter? I've always felt like I just didn't fit in anywhere or with anyone or anything on this planet. Like I'm not from here. Like I was dropped here on this planet, born almost like through Holy Spirit, but I'm from some other place because I just simply don't understand all of this. And that generates a lot of stress and confusion and distress and heartache and pain and sadness and just lostness, a loathing. Lots of words I can use. And it's constant. And it's just every day, day after day, month after month, year after year, year after year, year after year. And so what happens? Well, these are the traits that a lot of sociopaths and psychopaths have. Not saying I'm either one of those, but I have some of those traits where we learn certain social norms because we observe other people. We understand, we're intelligent enough to understand that, okay, well, in certain situations, I need to act like this to stay under the radar, right? I need to smile. I need to say hi to people. I need to open a door for somebody. But it means nothing to me. There's no meaning to it. What's it for? It's really, really hard thing, guys. It's a hard thing to explain. And I know it's probably to a lot of you sounds horrible. But it goes for the same with interpersonal relationships. It's very hard to actually really, really feel a connection with anybody. Love somebody. You feel the need for it, right? Like, because of, again, that social interaction that we've learned that, well, I'm supposed to be with somebody, right? What society expects from me is to have children and live with a woman and, you know, have a family, raise a family, be successful, have a job. And I think I've done pretty well at that. And I've been very responsible with my duties and with making sure that my children and everyone is taken care of. I feel the duty, but the sentiment is not there. It's empty. That's very dangerous as well, because I always think that had I been born in a different time and different circumstances, who knows what I would have been or been capable of doing. Thankfully, I was raised in a very normal family and had a normal childhood and loving parents that encouraged us, helped us. But, you know, had I been of the age in, let's say, Germany in the 1930s, that lack of sentiment, true sentiment, could have been the perfect recipe for disaster. So I don't know if any of that makes sense to you guys. I imagine to some of you it will. I'm just trying my best to give you a point of view of somebody who has this, to help some of you that maybe don't understand more. Best thing I can tell you to do is read up on it, watch documentaries or testimonies, you know, go on YouTube, watch things about movies, or not movies really, but just videos about depression, all those things. Educate yourself. Education is power. Knowledge is power. Well, I hope that this helps some of you out there and isn't just hopium or copium. I hope it really does help. And I hope that it made sense to some of you out there. So again, like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Want to see my new bracelet? You like it? The guitar? I know John will. Pretty cool, isn't it? So anyway, thanks for watching the CO visit. Be blessed, and I'll see you in the next one.